This is Matthew McConaughey.
Natalie Portman.
James Patterson,
Michael Ian Black,
And you are listening to
Five questions
with Dan
Schawbel.
Andy, welcome to Five Questions.
So good to be here. How we doing?
I'm doing great, and it's so good to be here with you as well. And I'm very jealous of your background.
Thank you.
So very colorful, more colorful than most guests. You could take that as a compliment.
I'll take it.
What inspired you to start playing instruments as a child and then write songs as a teenager?
I was born into a pretty musical household. My dad and my mom wrote a lot of songs. My dad is a Grammy-nominated children's singer. His name's Red Grammer. He's unbelievable. So just growing up in a house where that was happening all the time, it wasn't, I don't even know, inspired. It was more like just like what you do, you know? Like my wife is a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. My dad's a songwriter. My children just think everyone has an album, you know? Kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, when they're in school and everything, they'll start to realize that's a little bit of an anomaly, especially when it comes to a music career.
Sure. But it just kind of was what you do and what, like, it was never not that. So
the path was in front of you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a big reason why a lot of people become accountants or lawyers, because their parents are, it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do. But then there's rebels. There's rebels, right? There's people who are saying, I got to do something completely different than what my parents did. They hated life. So
exactly. Yeah.
What do you think made you stand out and get discovered as a street performer in LA?
I think it's songs. I think when it comes to music, the longevity and what will make you stand out is like, are you able to share who you are and what you have to bring through song in like a way that actually has an impact on people. And it was a lot of songwriting to get the first song, Keep Your Head Up, that was kind of like took me from a street performer to being on the radio and running around and playing shows all over the world. But there was, to get to Keep Your Head Up is 200 songs, you know?
Exactly. That's what no one sees. It's not like you had a monkey that did magic tricks or anything right next to you, right? So really what you're saying is, you know, you got to deliver the goods. And it can take times too. And you don't know if it's your, like you were saying, 200 song, 5,000 song, right? So you got to really want it.
What's interesting about art and careers in art is that you're making magic. You're trying to make someone feel something. And so a song, like I played for 4 years as a street performer, and people that don't have anything invested in you, for them to stop, listen, and then purchase at that time a CD or put some money in your guitar case, that's like really hard to do. Like they don't care. They don't need you. They don't like have anything invested. And so you quickly learn that like, oh man, this really has to be so good that someone goes like, you know, holy crap.
So good you can't be ignored.
This guy has got something that I like actually want right now. I was not expecting this. And you know, it's kind of like, can you turn a heart into caring or be of service to them in a way that makes them actually want to engage? And that's hard with art, because I think there are entry-level positions in other careers where you can go in and learn and not have to deliver at the highest level immediately. But in art, if you're not delivering, nothing happens, you know?
It could be because in terms of competition in art, it's pretty high. And I think especially in New York and LA, like there are so many people who are trying to do it. So it kind of makes you have to kind of up the ante, right?
Yeah. So you're like learning on the job, but it's pretty hard to even get a job if you're not delivering. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what's the meaning, purpose, and inspiration behind your new song, I Need a New Money?
So you're talking about the poem?
Yes.
The poem itself is just a conversation mostly with myself around making sure that money is not driving my decisions. I think it's a slippery slope, and you can have the best intentions and then you find that it's in the driver's seat and you have to continually push it back into the back seat. It's a part of life and you have to deal with it, but it shouldn't be the driver.
It's a really important reminder. And it's a really difficult balance, by the way, because it depends where you are in your life, what your needs are. You know, if you have a
Oh
family, there's
yeah.
so many variables to all this too, right?
It's
It's
just,
difficult.
I think that there's an agreement that no one talks about, that if you could just make enough money, you'd be happy. And I think there are thresholds that are really important, that if you don't have this amount, now you're like in a really survival state, and that's really intense. But it's basically attacking that idea that I think I can fall back into as well, often, which is like, man, if I just had more, I'd be happy. And I don't think it's true. So then I'm like fascinated, while I can tell you I don't think it's true, and then for the next 2 hours after we hang up, I might act like it is again. Damn it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And just
Yeah.
building off of that, what is your new album, Behind My Smile, focus on empowerment, uplifting music, and why is it relevant right now?
I think that we are all, especially post pandemic, had to do a lot of self time. And that was really hard for a lot of people, especially, I will throw myself, it was really hard for me. I'm someone that loves to run around a lot and be really busy and do tons of work. And sitting with myself was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. So a lot of songs came from that.
Well, yeah, a lot of reflection. Like, what am
Yeah.
I doing? Why am I doing it? I feel like people did
Yeah.
this across all careers and industries, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people change industries and careers too, right? Because they're
Totally.
like, when they spent time, like you were saying, alone with themselves, they're like, you know, maybe this isn't the life I want to live.
Yeah. It's
It
going
almost
back
like put
to,
the pressure on you to make to like kind of slow down and rethink things.
it was kind of an amazing reset for a lot of people, including me. It was a very intense reset for me on how I viewed myself, on, like we just spoke about with the money stuff, on self love, self worth, all that stuff. It's like, do we got to go there? Do we have to go there? I would rather not go there if we don't have to go there. And then if you lock me in a room like a pandemic, I go like, oh shit, I gotta go there. I don't want to go there, but I'm grateful for it.
And what's your best piece of career advice?
Respect how much courage it's going to take to be yourself, because when you are yourself, that is what will work. But that sounds like a simple thing, to just be yourself. And that is maybe the hardest thing to do.
Especially in your industry, because you have a lot of industry people, big corporations and managers, and there's a lot of people surrounding you that are like they're all trying to like kind of mold you. Is, you know, how do we mold this person to a product, which can then, you know, be monetized, you know, et cetera. So I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure in your industry. You know, you
Yeah.
hear
Like
all of these stories about
follow your
people.
passion is something that I heard you say is overused. I
Yeah.
think that is the product of having the courage and belief that you are here for a reason. And, I wrote this poem I can share with you. I read a lot of poems all the time, and I like to use a conversation between universe and dreamer. That's like a way that I like write out little ideas. And so the dreamer says, is there a place for me? And the universe says yes. And the dreamer says, are you sure all the spots aren't taken? The universe says, we're sure. And the dreamer asks, how can you be so sure? And the universe says, we saw a spot was missing, and that's why we brought you here. And I like love that idea, the confidence and the knowing that like what you uniquely have to bring is what you're supposed to be doing. And so do the things that help you build your courage and test that, and do the work that it takes to be yourself.
Well, that's great advice, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Great to talk to you.